So, once when I lived in an old house in Preston, in Melbourne, I saw a huge spider out on the veranda. Now, normally that would freak me out and I would run away because spiders are gross. But the interesting thing about this was that the big spider met a very small spider. Now, what I think had happened was one of the spiders, and I can't quite remember which one, had gone away from its web, and the other spider had come along and taken possession of that web. We saw the spider there, and we thought, well, that's obviously the spider in its web. But then the other spider came and sort of challenged it for ownership of the web. And what happened then, dear viewers, was incredible. We got a big spider, not that big, obviously. It was like, big enough to freak me out. Had a big old body, big long legs, and then the other little spider, so small, tiny little body, they started having this fight. And it was incredible. Both of them were just going at each other with their big long legs, like zab, zab, zabbing, trying to stab each other and stuff, and just like they would fight like their arms kind of like hitting each other. And then the one with the little body was like trying to black attacking with its body. We were so excited. I was with my housemate Kate. We called our other housemate Curtis, come out here and see this. We videoed it because we'd never seen anything like it. These two spiders having this frantic, urgent fight. Now, we obviously assumed that the big spider would win because it was big. The other spider was very little. But let me tell you something. That little spider gave the big spider what for. And eventually the big spider ended up in a little ball as the little spider just attacked, and then ate him. I can't even tell you. I've never seen anything like it. It was incredible. Now, the reason I'm talking to you about this very strange, very exciting story is because this week's Old Testament story is about Jacob wrestling with someone for a long time. Now, Jacob we met a few weeks ago. I think last time I spoke about him, he had a weird dream about angels going up and down a staircase and God had blessed him or something like that. In this story, he's on his way to see his brother Esau, who is pretty mad at him because Jacob keeps doing the wrong thing and essentially stealing from Esau. So Jacob's really scared to see his brother, as you would be. So he sends all of his people away to go see Esau first. His family and servants on ahead, and he stays alone in the desert, scared to see his brother. And this is where it gets weird. The story then says, Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until daybreak. What? Who is that guy? Why is he wrestling with Jacob? What? What's happening? This is just such a weird story. In part because we go on to read that the man who's wrestling Jacob can't beat Jacob. And so to finish it off, it gets to dawn and he's like, I can't just keep doing this forever. So he touches Jacob's hip socket, which magically dislocates it. Ask your parents what dislocate means. And even then, Jacob, with a dislocated hip, won't let go of this bloke who's wrestled him. Jacob's holding on tight to him because he knows there's something very special about this man who's been wrestling with him. And he's right, because later on the author of the book and Jacob himself seem to indicate that Jacob was wrestling for some reason, in some way, God. Whoa! Imagine that. Imagine fighting God and winning. When you read a story like this, you don't expect God to sort of lose a fight. Some people are really upset by that suggestion. It's pretty unexpected, I think you'll agree. It's one of the things that makes this story so interesting and so incredible. The man, the wrestler, or God, or God's messenger, however you want to see that, whoever that was, went on to bless Jacob and changed Jacob's name to Israel. Now we know that word because that name is carried by God's people throughout the rest of the Bible. And in fact, there's even a country named Israel now. It's amazing because Jacob was a tricksy, a little bit dishonest, badly behaved guy. And here he is, the focus of this story, not only wrestling with God, but ending up with a blessing from God and a renaming of him in a way that's really important. This name Israel means to wrestle with God, and I think that's excellent because it reminds us that it's okay to wrestle or to battle with things, even things that we read in the Bible, even things that we think that God is telling us. God is okay with us wrestling or even fighting her. We don't have to always be well behaved for God to be with us. That's important to know. And God is strong enough to handle a fight with us. That's also important to know. God doesn't need us to just agree with everything and not argue and be pliable and obedient is, I think, really what I want to say. You can ask questions, really. That's what I want to get at. You can wonder about things. You can doubt. It's okay. So next time you see a small spider win a fight against a big spider, and I hope you do get to see that one day, remember that God works in unexpected ways. And sometimes, maybe, wants to provoke us to wrestle with the hard stuff and to not let go until we find the blessing or the truth there. Thanks.